Thanks for joining us again. Jared, we finally got there. I think we talked about some of this throughout the episodes, but it's time for the Hall of Fame. And shame.
And shame.
Well, Jared.
I mean, we couldn't just celebrate people's achievements.
No, we have to cut some
cut a couple down.
We do.
Little things out.
We have to, but there's also a couple of people who have been in the gun for years.
Yeah.
It's not like they will not be surprised to find their names in here.
No.
But to kick off, so basically we're going to do a Hall of Fame. We've got 12 people that we feel make the cut, and we're going to whittle. We're going to look at their pros and cons, we're going to discuss, and then we're going to whittle it down to 5. 5 to make the Hall of Fame cut. Now, there is a 6th.
An exception.
An exception to the rule. An immortal, so to speak.
Yeah.
Tom Atkins.
Yes.
Thomas Atkins.
He has been referred to as the patron saint of the podcast.
And let's be honest, Night of the Creeps, Escape from LA, Creep Show. I mean, has he done... What's his worst film?
Oh shit! He's got quite a few.
Trick question. There isn't one. So, I will not have any more of that. Let's just Tom Atkins.
Look, if he turns up and he's mustachioed, it's a minimum 3 out of 5.
Even if he's not mustachioed, it's 2.5. He brings such gravitas to the table. Bottom line is, Tom Atkins stands at the top of the tree right now, and he always will. Okay?
Yes.
So Tom is top. He's king.
The mascot.
Now, he's the mascot. There's 5 new players to make the list. Okay? So we've got 12 people to go through. The Hall of Shame's a little bit thinner. We've got 5. I mean, we could have really stretched this out, I'm sure.
I mean, Adam, that surprises me because we have we have tended to lay the boot into quite a few people.
Oh, hang on. I've just... He's not on in my notes, but I think I'm going to add an extra person to the shame hall.
Okay. That'll happen another 2-3 times before we actually get there.
Yeah, the shame list. The shame list is going to be 6 people, whittled down to 2. Right? So we don't want to kick the shit out of people, do we? Well, yeah, we do.
Yeah.
All right, let's dive in, Jared. Let's kick this off with... So the first person to make the Hall of Fame sort of...
The nominees.
Before
we crack out 5 envelopes.
One Sylvester Stallone. Now, just to let people know, there was a slight technical problem with an episode from a week ago. It was a Sylvester episode as well. Yeah. I may have deleted something.
I mean, it may still be in your trash can somewhere.
No, it's not, because I clear that thing regularly. It's gone. I tell you. It was a good episode too, cliffhanger. So just let that marinate. There was
I mean, you'll have to trust us on it.
Yeah,
it was our best work in months.
Yeah, it was. Matty was back. He's going to be fucking super dirty because I haven't told him. Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Was it met with some disdain?
So we owe him one.
Yeah, we owe him to come back. Although I've also put the feelers out to Gibbo about returning for an over-the-top episode. Yeah. So Sylvester...
Trade out cliffhanger for over the top.
It's probably not the greatest of trade-offs.
No, it's not.
Let's have a look at Stallone's pros, Jared. So this is his best work. First Blood, definitely top of his tree. Rocky's 1 through... Christ, do I add 4?
Yeah.
1 through 4.
If you're balancing the ledger, it's definitely coming out on the positives.
Yeah, okay, so you got Rocky's 1 through 4. You got Creed's 1 and 2. I'd throw Copland in.
Yep.
Do you feel Copland has some merit?
Yeah.
In that grouping, I see 2 genuine classics. Like genuine classics in there. First Blood.
And First Blood.
And Rocky, yes.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So they are sort of all-timers.
Yes.
In terms of the quality of that work.
Yep.
So Sylvester, he's got a good body of work when it's good.
And he's also got a reasonable tier of the next...
Expendables and that type of stuff.
The enjoyable stuff. A couple of the other
other
Rambo movies. Demolition Man. I mean, shit, Demolition Man would be in his top 3, wouldn't it?
No, I've got it up there.
But even stuff like Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
You know, he's got a reasonable middle tier.
Yeah. What's his low tier though? His low tier is pretty damn low.
Yeah.
Because we've got Last Blood.
would
We've
be low.
Yeah, you know what? That's probably his lowest in my book.
It'd be down there.
Only because
he might tell you Rhinestone or something like that. Might.
Jared, I would rather fucking Sylvester Stallone honky-tonked his way across the street.
You sure?
Yeah.
I mean, would you watch Last Blood again, or are you watching Drinkenstein?
No, fuck no, I'm watching Drinkenstein. At least I'm getting a laugh. I don't know what I was getting out of Last Blood. I mean, shit.
Yeah, okay.
I actually think he fucking was out of his mind when he made Last Blood.
He was in a bad place.
He might have been.
I mean, he might have been writing it in the middle of arguments about dogs and things.
Yeah, that's right. His marriage was breaking down. He decided to put the rest of us through it as well.
Yeah. If I have to suffer, so do you guys.
You know what? I'll throw another one in there that's real low tier. And we've talked about Over the Top, which is fucking ridiculous. But I See You.
Yeah.
I See You is kind of like that zenith of where I felt like he would never return.
Yeah.
I was like, so Sylvester's finished. Like, I really thought Sylvester was done.
Yep.
At about I See You level. So there's some pretty bad stuff in there.
I mean, Samaritan would probably work towards his lower tier as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you start to factor in Escape Plan 2, 3, he starts to win you back.
Yeah, I don't know about Escape Plan 2 and 3. I prefer it when he plays a villain like Spike in Street. Sorry.
Okay.
He doesn't really cut it as a villain.
Yep.
Okay, so that's Sylvester. That's Sylvester pros cons. You said he had a middle tier that you're pretty happy with.
Yeah, there's a few reasonable films in the middle tier that you don't mind going back to. You know.
So is it a fair? He's got a reasonable case.
He's got a reasonable case.
I'm going to go by. I'm going to throw these out before we go to the 5 envelopes. Is if I reckon he's got pretty good odds. Slight.
Yeah.
If I
what if I mention Judge Dredd?
Odds are blowing out.
You'd squirm a little.
Yeah, I go, yeah, maybe.
You'd sit there. If you were in an interview, there'd be a couple of droplets of sweat.
Yeah. So you don't think Sylvester's that good, do you? Is that what you're saying? All right, so that's Sylvester. That's Sylvester's catalogue. That's what he. Yeah, that's what he rolls out. That's his case. That's his case. Next one on the list, a screenwriter, Jared. Not a lot of these on the list. Soft spot here for me. Soft spot. And that's Shane Black.
Yes.
His pros, Lethal Weapon, which is, let's be honest, I rewatched Lethal Weapon not that long ago.
Awesome.
Genuinely, probably the best buddy action film there is.
Yeah.
Just because it's more than just, they're from different walks of life. And they've got to come together and they butt heads and that's it.
Yeah.
You know, Riggs is a lunatic. He's fucked. He's in big trouble, you know. He's got problems. Mm-hmm. And I think the way that stuff works out, it works out really well. Then you throw in Last Boy Scout, pure misogyny, but entertaining misogyny, I will say, because I, again, caught that the other day. Mm-hmm. Long Kiss Goodnight.
Yep.
Nice Guys. He's got a small... His pitch is like a page. Sylvester's was 3 pages.
Yeah.
You know, Black's pitch is short but sweet.
But let's not forget, look, he was on the set on Predator for a reason.
He reckons he didn't do anything.
Oh, bullshit.
Yeah,
a couple of suggestions here there.
The cocaine was flowing. We're well aware. And he was pulled over on the side of the road, shitting everywhere. Yeah. Getting a case of diarrhea.
But then, of course, he kind of straddled both of our like the genres that we talk about on here by inserting himself into something like Monster Squad. So
yes, correct.
He's got the clout, and regardless of whether it's a smaller body of work, he had an influence on
action
every
cinema.
Fucking action movie that came after those ones.
Correct. And I think from a writing perspective too, for screenwriters, I think you'll find that he had quite a heavy influence on that 80s period of and 80s and 90s action screenwriters.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
They would have read his stuff. Yep. They would have tried to emulate some of it.
Yep.
So I think his pros are very outstanding for me. The cons though, Jared, he partially ruined one of my favourite franchises. I mean, The Predator is a fucking disaster.
Yeah, but we're back on track now, and that might not have happened if he hadn't fucked it up.
No, you know what? Even reading the original screenplay, it probably wasn't that good.
No, I don't think. I think
it was quite. Wasn't quite there.
Yeah, but as I said, if that doesn't happen, we don't go. Oh shit!
We need to
go back to the
downsize.
drawing board with Predator, and the result is Prey. So
I can guarantee you, though, if they'd have done the script that they'd done, it would have been much better than what we got.
Yeah. Yep.
But The Predator is
pretty bad.
Very bad. And Last Action Hero, I threw that in there. Even though I still get a few laughs out of Last Action Hero.
Yeah, I certainly go back fondly on that one. And then we're also still in this period of we don't know how much blame he should actually get for that, because you know, you talk to him and he says all the shit that he put in there was rewritten anyway. So
yeah. Well, it was.
Yeah.
I believe it was a patchwork.
Yes.
I believe William Goldman was paid $1 million for 4 weeks.
To look at it?
to just weave the kid back in.
Yeah, right.
I fucking don't know what they were doing at that stage. But I don't think it's a good picture.
No,
I think it actually has aged a little better because of that meta humour and all that stuff.
Yeah, but it's still, even as that, it doesn't really work all that well.
Yeah, and his fingerprints are on it.
Right, remake territory.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's probably we're past that period of a Jack Slater in cinema, so we probably won't get what we want to get, but you can still go to it.
I think so. Yes, you're right. Black's involvement's probably smaller in this one, but his fingerprints are on it.
Yeah. And again, reasonable middle tier. Stuff like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
Like, he's got some reasonable stuff in there.
Yeah, some decent middle tier stuff. So his pitch is short, but it's
carries some weight.
Yes, it's got weight. It's got weight. And I totally agree with what you're saying. I'm not, not to knock Sylvester in that thing, but Sylvester didn't not revolutionise, but he didn't have as big an impact on cinema, so to speak.
No.
Black's name is synonymous high concept action films.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing. He had sort of an impact on cinema, the genre itself.
Yep.
From the Scream Queen box, I believe we had this conversation and we said that she was the Scream Queen of the horror genre, and that's Jamie Lee Curtis.
Mm-hmm.
Recent Oscar nominee, I believe.
Mm.
Yeah. There you go. It wasn't for Halloween Ends.
No,
that right.
Funnily enough.
Right now.
Might I just add?
I think she might have been phoning Halloween Ends.
Yeah. I picked that up on Blu-ray, so I'll be subjecting myself to that shortly.
Oh, shit, is there deleted scenes?
And extended scenes.
Oh, well, maybe it makes more sense. Hopefully they cut that bit where he's wrestling with Michael in this. Fucking hell.
And
I cannot.
Hopefully the child falls down the stairs with a little less comedic effects.
Yeah, true.
Time.
I mean, it could only have been worse by a fucking honking horn when he's around or something.
I mean, I felt like Matt Dillon in Something About Mary, when the thing hits the ground, you're up there going, and then you kind of look around, you're like, oh,
no one else is
supposed to laugh at that.
Okay, Jamie Lee. Pros, Halloween, 78. I'd say Halloween 2018 is in there.
Yep.
True Lies.
Yep.
I threw Knives Out in there.
Yep.
I think Knives Out's really good. Again, impact on the genre.
Yes.
Her name is synonymous with horror films.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I don't believe she's a big fan of horror films, but her name is forever associated.
She's a big fan of the dollar bills that have been rolling as a result of producing
many years.
some of these horror films.
And I think Halloween is a touchstone, and her performance in that is, for someone who had been a novice, basically had barely acted, it's a really, really strong performance for a young actress.
And again, no matter what comes of her career, she's always going to be Laurie Strode, just like Sylvester's always going to be Rocky. They're always going to have those movies,
correct,
that are going to be revisited. Yeah?
Exactly. I mean, fuck, if she snags an Oscar now, what a way to top a career off.
What's the nomination for?
For that
Everything Everywhere
all at once. Yeah.
I did kick that off last night.
Now here it's weird.
I fell asleep.
But there was a heap of...
I was enjoying it, but I was
Side note,
I was fatigued.
There was Kei Hee Kwan. He got a nomination, and Michelle Yeoh got a nomination.
Yep.
Look.
So far, so good.
Yeah, hey. Okay, sidebar. Top Gun Maverick, nominated for Best Picture.
Mm-hmm.
Writers, nominated for Best Writing.
Mm-hmm.
No directing nod. How does that work?
It's just a tradesman? Not
Fuck off, he's a tradesman. How does that work? You've got great performances, you've got incredible fucking footage.
Yeah, they usually
That's your director at work, isn't it?
They usually go hand in hand. And I mean, when that motherfucker has to get in a plane and fucking pass out just to get a couple of good shots.
Yeah. Tom, we're still rolling. Fucking hell, how long have we been rolling?
Tom, Joseph's unconscious, but here's the shot. You just gotta go. Hold call action.
Yeah, you hear Cruz going, fucking wake Kozinski out there till he breaks asleep again.
I think that's why he didn't get the nomination. Because he was unconscious for 3/4 of the stuff he supposedly directed.
You don't think George Cosmatos might have taken at some point, do you? Because that could be the reasoning.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't get that. It's a bit like when... for me, back when I think Black Hawk Down got nominated for the Best Picture, but Ridley Scott didn't get nominated for direction, and I was kind of like, well, how is that possible? Because the way the film is shot is important to making it a good film.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I don't know, mate.
Maybe the director of photography.
Let's just clear it up. We're not getting sent screeners, so we don't have any.
yeah, that's right. We've got no
say in the process. I mean, we're fucking. I mean, I'd be happy to get a look in at a Fango Chainsaw Award.
Yeah. So throw
what
me
thoughts? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I haven't seen half of them. Shit. I'll weigh in though.
Yeah. Oh, it's a 5-film category. I've seen 2 of them. We'll just pick that one.
I'm perfectly suited for this.
Yeah.
All right, back to where we were. Jamie Lee, her cons. Look, if you'd say she had a decent middle tier, but none of it's really horror action. You know, she's in that comedy and Trading Places and you know, your Freaky Fridays and that kind of shit.
I would chuck the Terror Trains and
Terror Train.
stuff like that in there.
Terror Train. What about the Prom Night? Can you get Prom Night in there?
Well, at least 10 minutes of disco dancing and Prom Night figure in the cons. At least.
Okay, cons. 10 minutes of disco dancing, Prom Night. Blue Steel.
Blue Steel? I have not seen Blue Steel.
Blue Steel is tragic. It's crap. Virus.
Yeah, I remember.
I believe Jamie Lee Curtis says Virus is the worst movie she's ever been in.
I think me and you hired that from Video Easy one night on your recommendation. I was not happy.
I do not remember.
I don't think you were happy either.
I left it. I left my tail tucked between the legs. I need to take it back that next night and I'll have something worse.
Yeah, probably.
And then I'm going to throw Halloween Resurrection in.
Again,
even though she's barely in it, but
she wisely, after 10 minutes of that, she wisely sort of stepped out of the picture.
And look, I'll say this too. For somebody who had, opened her career in horror and then sort of went into more mainstream fare and got away
respectable
from respectable fare, she has always come back to Halloween.
Yeah.
And as much as I'm sure she's probably done a couple of them where she's like, fuck. Well, Halloween Resurrection.
Yeah.
For instance. I appreciate the fact that she comes back.
Whether or not there's coin involved. She came back this time, Adam. Because horror's fucking flying.
Yes.
And she was allowed to wet the beak.
Yeah.
When Jason Blum says to you, will you come back if I give you a cut? If you produce,
she says, you can
say,
produce.
Fucking oath. I will do anything if you give me a cut of your profits.
And Blum says, listen, this is 250 mil easy.
Yeah.
We'll make this
We'll
kind
make
of money.
it for 12.
We'll make it for 12. We'll make shitloads of money.
We'll make it for 12 and then we'll organise a large-scale money fight.
Exactly. Even Carpenter was swayed.
Yeah.
And the grumpy bastard.
Yeah, the grumpy old bastards. And now he's talking about making a movie again.
What? Fucking someone shocked him or something. Got his life back on track. One of those steel briefcases to his house.
Look, I love Johnny Carpenter, but I also love hearing him talk about how he still talks, still talks glowingly about Prince of Darkness, but then he says, I watched something from someone else. Yeah, I just don't get everything's shit these days. I'm like, mate, I watched Prince of Darkness, enjoyed parts of it, but I wouldn't be throwing too many stones.
Yeah, just holster your rocks.
John,
mate.
can you come and do a Q&A at Ghost of Mars for us? Talk about that.
Run me through the choices involved in that.
John, I've got a quote here for you. It says, I've watched a lot of films lately and they're all shit. What would you say this is?
Yeah. And it's a double bill, John. We're throwing on vampires after it.
Yeah. I'd probably sit down and fucking just about... I'd be loving vampire. He needs a dose of Stephen King. When Stephen King talks about his rubbish.
Yeah, true. He needs to be a bit more sort of open. Okay, so Jamie Lee's also got a reasonably large resume, but it's not that chockers with... It's got horror, obviously.
Yeah.
But predominantly Halloween pictures.
Yes.
And then most of it's not the fare that we would watch.
Yeah.
But
True Lies, though.
Yeah, True Lies. So a solid resume.
Mm.
Okay, next one on the list. This is a personal horror movie sort of, the only FX man on the list.
Mm.
One, Tom Savini.
Yes.
His resume, Friday the 13th, The Prowler,
yeah.
The Burning, Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead. His FX are fucking outstanding. Again, has had a big impact on horror, the genre itself, by actually producing this kind of FX that... Well, there were other effects men around in that period, but nobody was doing the kind of things that he was doing.
Yeah, and doing the horror movies as frequently as he was.
Correct.
And he's got an advantage over a few other people on the list. For anybody else involved in The Prowler, for example, that's not getting you a Hall of Fame nom.
No.
But Savini's is.
When you jam a baby through some bloke's fucking skull.
You can look at his work in a shit film and he comes out smelling like roses.
Yeah. No wonder he was doing fucking junkets and stuff.
Yeah. Speaking of junkets, I believe he rung in the new year enjoying the fireworks at Sydney Harbour.
Did he?
Yeah.
Tom.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been out of the effects game for a while. Not out of it, but not doing the kind of things that...
More teaching and stuff.
Yeah, teaching
I believe
stuff.
he still has his effects school.
And obviously he's acting.
Yeah.
He's acting.
Yeah.
And he's a man of many... He involves himself in a lot of things. But that period of time, his best work is unrivaled.
Mm.
I mean, I think some of that stuff in The Burning is outstanding.
Did you bring up his cons? What you would suggest his cons were?
I do. I feel like his work in Creepshow is not really that good. I think it's because it's kind of it's not PG rate, but it feels the way it's shot like it's a comic book.
Mm.
I didn't really, because it wasn't a slasher.
No.
So we weren't sort of in the territory of cutting people's throats and all that type of stuff. My other one was Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2.
Mm.
Such a shit film. It's probably the only time that even Savini couldn't make me happy.
Yeah. I don't hate it.
I mean,
I wouldn't put it up in his... When you're talking about him, it wouldn't be the first thing that escapes my lips.
No, it wouldn't. Although I do enjoy when the bloke takes a fucking chainsaw to the scone. Him just...
Yes.
Falls apart. I mean, that's good stuff.
I still have a bit of a chuckle when the Drayton Sawyer gets a chainsaw to the date as well. Starts fucking carrying.
Yeah, that's what you do.
That's not effects work, but it made me laugh.
Yeah, of course. So Savini again, he's also got a bit like Shane Black, it's a slimmer resume, but it's got impact.
Yes,
because of the nature of his involvement with horror. I mean, the guy he would be cleaning up on the convention circuit.
Oh, fuck
people line up to see him.
Yeah, yep.
And I think that plays a big part, and he is forever attached to the slasher genre.
Mm.
Like his name will go hand in hand with slasher films.
Yep.
And that's a big deal. He'll never be forgotten, I think.
No, I don't think he will.
I mean, fuck, mate, he was doing that stuff 40 years ago.
Yeah, and he was sort of also, he's got this kind of place as you know, when you were fucking thumbing through the pages of Fango, there's always a bit of Tom Savini, and he someone like him fed into that sort of stuff beautifully because it was a kind of peek behind the curtain.
Yes.
So he kind of became a celebrity to that group of people before being sort of as widely known, I guess.
Yeah. So he's got a smaller resume, but again, got some impact. All right, next name on the list. Current gold medal holder, I believe, in our gold, silver, bronze. Thankfully, we haven't seen the last 40 movies he's done. So I think he might find himself in a bit of strife there. Yeah. Not a lot of medals in that group, unfortunately.
No. We probably need to revisit so we can kind of just for fairness' sake, so we can make fun of the movies he was making earlier as much as the ones that we've been making fun of lately.
Correct. That's one. Bruce Willis. His pros. Obviously, he's got Die Hard and Die Hard 2.
Yep.
I think they go hand in hand. I think, again, like Stallone, he has John McClane. He'll always be known as John McClane.
Yep.
And you know, Die Hard's still the greatest action movie of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So he started his career with that. Like, that's really... Yeah, he could only go downwards.
Yeah, really.
But what I will say about Bruce is there's a lot of... That middle tier is pretty good.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of fun stuff in his middle tier.
Yep.
But he's also got your Loopers and your Unbreakables. I mean, fuck, I think Unbreakable is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think it's an absolutely fantastic movie.
Yep. Also got stuff like The Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense, yep.
Pulp Fiction.
Oh, fuck, I forgot about Pulp Fiction.
Like, he's got...
And then he's got, after 10 beers, a 5 out of 5 Armageddon. 10 beers, it's 5 out of 5.
That counts.
0 beers, 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5, yeah. Cosmic Sin, 10 out of 10.
You wished you'd
I'm
had
still
a few
filthy
beers.
about that. I mean, I saw that in the cinema fucking 2 years ago.
Why?
Still filthy about it.
It's just your own fault.
It's not though. That's you're supposed to enjoy going to the cinema, and it was one of those ones where I was like, I don't know what I'm going to see, but I've got the time. Oh, Bruce Willis is in one called Cosmic Sin. I was ruining that decision.
Yeah, well, I blame Frank Grillo.
That was at the point when I was mildly excited to see him on the poster too. Now, if I saw him on the poster, I'd be saying, "Fuck, I can't get far enough away. I'm not coming to see a movie for another 3 weeks." If this is on.
Yeah, Bruce's middle tier is a solid bunch as well.
Yes,
and I would actually have Pulp Fiction and a few of those others in the higher tier.
Yeah, absolutely.
But his middle tier's got sort of stuff like Red, enjoyable sort of action fare.
Yes.
His lower tier, I mean, Hudson Hawk. I mean, the bloke was throwing his fucking weight around in 91, and he shouldn't have been.
No.
He'd had a prick of a year, if I'm not mistaken, because he also had Bonfire of the Vanities in there as well.
Yeah, yep.
He'd had a rough year, the big boy.
When did Breakfast of Champions come in? That was
in the late 90s. And yes, again, Breakfast of Champions.
Yeah.
Not his finest.
No.
Striking Distance. Me and a bloke at work have been rambling on about Striking Distance for a week.
Yep.
And I can't find it anywhere.
Oh, look, we'll find it.
And it sucks.
We will find it. We'll get on it.
Correctly.
He's also got, we're talking about middle tier. He's probably got one of the bigger ones. Again, you toss out stuff like Sin City.
Oh, yes.
A small role in one of my absolute favourites, Planet Terror.
Oh, yes. So isn't he carrying around a bag full of testicles in that one?
Yeah. That was
Jesus.
Tears of the Sun, one of your favourites.
Tears of the Sun, not bad.
Heart's War.
I really like Heart's War.
So his middle tier is very good.
I think that his sweet spot was that he knew to take the right character roles. So he knew that,
Fifth Element? I haven't seen Fifth Element. But
Fifth Element was alright.
Like...
He knew that I've got all these pictures where I'm going to headline for the big bucks, but then I'm going to do this stuff. I'm going to do a Sin City for fuck all. I'm going to do a Pulp Fiction for fuck all.
Yeah.
And there's a character piece, but it's a good film.
Yeah.
So his middle tier, you're right. His middle tier is pretty fucking outstanding, actually.
Colour of Night.
Colour of Night, if you need to see his tossle. Which I can tell you I did not want to see. If you want to see his tockler, alright, fair enough.
I mean, there was things about The Colour of Night that I enjoyed more than something like Hudson Hawk. Could have probably done with a little more of it. Maybe not tossles hanging out everywhere, but
in the pool as well, Bruce. Now, come on, mate. Oh, fuck. She knew it was going to float into view. But no. Colour of Night's in the cons. I can tell you, it's in the cons. It's in the cons. Bruce has also got Good Day to Die Hard is fucking terrible.
Yeah.
like
as
what
you
a
said.
way to shit all over John McClane.
As you said though, like I'm not exaggerating when I say if I go to IMDb, the last fucking 40 to 50 films he's been in, you just look at him and go, I didn't even know that some of these existed.
Yeah, and look, again, I'm not going to be that critical.
No.
Because I understand it has now become apparent.
Yes.
As to why he was doing what he was doing.
There's issues there. But,
and I would suggest that the last 20 were done when he wasn't healthy at all.
I would say more than that.
Yeah, I think you'll find that he was being fucking used a touch.
Yes.
And I think he was probably maybe not in the right position to make decisions that he was making.
No.
And I think he should have retired instead. But those 40 or 50 films are not good. Like,
no
matter how you slice it, there's not one of them that anyone would say is any good.
No.
I mean, the last movie he was in that I think was, in terms of, was a bigger budgeted sort of, higher tier sort of film was Glass.
Mm.
I mean, it was crap too, but, I mean, I don't blame him. I think the whole movie was badly put together, but some of those films in that last, I mean, Christ, there are people that, I mean, you wouldn't make that many bad films in your career.
Yeah. Yep.
So, and I think if you actually look at his IMDb page, he goes from like 100, where it's 100 credits where he was making, he was picking roles and everything, to 150.
Very quickly.
Very quickly. He's knocking out 10 movies a year.
Yep.
This type of thing.
Yep.
So it's sad to think that that's it, but they're all against him. They're all cons. So,
unfortunately.
So his resume has some awesome stuff, but then it kind of tails, which is disappointing.
Mm.
All right, number 6, producer, Jerry Bruckheimer. In the 90s, there was not a week went by in the cinemas that I wasn't looking at something that Jerry Bruckheimer was involved in.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a period there with Con Air, The Rock, even shit like Coyote Ugly was in there, Kangaroo Jack. I mean, I've got question marks on how much involvement he had in Kangaroo Jack, but the guy was just making, like him, 80s, 90s, I mean, he was the producer of producers.
Yeah, he was making all sorts of shit.
Yeah, and his top credits, Beverly Hills Cop, Top Gun Maverick, The Rock, Black Hawk Down, Remember the Titans, Con Air, all really good films.
Some good ones in there.
Yeah. Good, fun sort of films.
Yeah.
He wasn't known for anything deep. And I did read an article about Remember the Titans being total shit. Like, total bullshit.
Yeah.
That movie is total crap.
Yeah, there's not a lot of truth to it.
No.
But, decent movie to watch.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
But I have been very harsh on other films. I'm looking at Bohemian Rhapsody that are full of shit as well. So I guess I have to be consistent.
Yeah, be consistent, be consistent. His middle tier's probably pretty good too.
Yeah.
Even if you're looking at things like some of the Pirates of the Caribbean pictures, Bad Boys is in there.
First one especially, Bad Boys.
Even Bad Boys for Life.
Yeah, wasn't he on a bit of like National Treasure?
Yeah, National Treasure. What was that one? The other one was Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Okay. All right.
So he had a little bit of everything in there.
Gone in 60 Seconds?
Gone in 60. Oh, shit, I hate that movie.
Really?
Yeah, I hate
I
it.
didn't mind that.
I hate it.
Enemy of the State.
Enemy of the
One
State.
your favourites?
Enemy of the State's good. Crimson Tide.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. I forgot about them. I mean, Christ, Crimson Tide would be pushing into the top tier.
And, I think you mentioned Beverly Hills Cop, didn't you? Yeah. But he also had 2, so he gets a bit of credit for that one, too.
Did he have 3?
I don't know.
No, I think he dropped out of it by 3. He smelt 3 coming and thought, oof. So his middle tier is pretty decent.
Yep.
His lower tier, Bad Boys 2. Fucking terrible. Days of Thunder. Gemini Man.
Yeah.
That was poop. The
Yeah.
whole idea of it was awesome.
Well, that was your high concept. But
But it was in the 2000s.
Action
It
one,
was the
right?
late 2000s.
But I think the script had been floating around for a while.
The Lone Ranger.
And the idea was good.
Yeah.
But the
Execution.
film was shocking.
Lone Ranger?
I reckon it should have been Will Smith slapping Will Smith.
Yeah, that would have been funny.
Lone Ranger. Not good.
Armie Hammer's involved.
Oh,
Whew.
fuck. I was filthy about that because at the time I was reading a really good run of Lone Ranger comics. Then I watched the movie and I was like, oh, fuck.
Was he not good for the role, apart from being a cannibal? And a sex pervert?
I think it was more just the script was
Shit.
not great.
All right, so Bruckheimer. Now, talk about large resumes.
Mm.
I mean, his fucking pitch is 5 pages long. I got bored reading his pitch.
Yeah.
I was like, Jerry, you cut this down, mate. I don't need all of this. Don't talk to me about bloody, Enemy of the State for 2 pages.
No, that's right. We need you to curate, Jerry.
Yeah,
Your resume.
your best, mate, not the shit as well. I'll tell you what the shit was. All right, so Jerry's got a big resume. He's coming with a lot of. He's like
pepper.
He's the guy who rocks up and just dumps it all in front of you.
Yeah.
Like, look at all this.
Yeah.
And then basically says, "You want me, don't you?" Yeah, you do want me, don't you? Next one on the list, another Scream Queen. I think her resume is thin.
Yeah.
But I think that, again, there's a place here
Yes.
for Neve Campbell
Yeah.
because of, again, that Scream kind of changed the slasher. It took the slasher and turned it on its head.
Yes.
It took it in a different direction, and you needed a strong final girl.
Yeah. And she kept coming back.
Yep, she kept coming back.
5 films in the
Until
row.
recently.
Until
some bastard said no money.
Someone decided we're not going to pay.
And I actually think her best performance in the role is in Scream 2022.
Yeah, it was.
I think she's really good in that, even though she's not in it a lot. The film works when she turns up. Like it really comes alive, and that's no disrespect to Jenna Ortega or anyone like that who I really like as well. And I think David Arquette is fucking awesome in that one. But I think Neve Campbell being there is kind of like The Rock.
Yeah.
Not The Rock, but the Rock of the franchise is there.
Yeah.
And I think it's disappointing that they lowball.
Yeah, it is.
Because I would have liked to seen her have actually go out in another way. Potentially not kill, but having a large role.
Yeah.
In the 6th one.
Although we've seen what's coming there now, and there is some interest from me on that one. Maybe not so much.
I was kind of like, meh. No, I think it's a bad trailer.
I'll tell you what's got me. The shrine thing.
Yeah.
I'm kind of somewhat interested in that.
The shrine.
Yeah, because I think they might be bringing some ideas in that we've possibly tossed around before. But anyway,
I don't know. I was just a little bit weirded out by attacking people in a fucking crowded convenience store with a shotgun. I thought that kind of seemed a bit stupid.
But everything else looked solid. The train sequence looks excellent.
It looked like what I expect.
And those guys, although they've only done one Scream film, I'm a big fan of Ready or Not as well.
Well, they did a good job.
They did a very good job.
I thought they did a really good job.
I'm putting the trust in that, and there's a couple of things in there that have got me intrigued.
But I am certainly not off the train.
But yeah, it could be a really big loss.
Yeah.
So
yeah, she has Scream. She has Scream 2. She has Scream 2022. I actually thought The Craft. I put The Craft in there.
The Craft.
I thought the original Craft was pretty good.
Yeah, The Craft's very good, and I think it's gained a little bit of significance in more recent years for being one of those crop in that time that was actually looking at a different angle that wasn't being looked at as quite as much. So,
agreed. Wild Things? Cons?
yeah,
Other than
definitely.
Bacon's cock, I guess, was in there somewhere. A real slab of bacon, I believe that was.
Large rasher. I'll take the longest rasher of bacon you've got.
Oh, yeah, no, sorry, Kevin took that. Yeah, and again, Kevin, we don't need to see it, mate. You're a fucking world-famous actor who's making millions of dollars. I also don't need you to know you've got a cock like a horse.
Well, that's what I was going to say. When it's knocking against your knee, Kevin's probably reasonably happy to show it off, even if you say no.
Exactly. If someone said to me, listen, would you like to show your todger in a film? I'm going, no, thanks.
Listen, there's the shelves, there's the screen fogged up. It's not coming out until it's well and truly fogged up.
You can shoot me down to the fucking pubic bone, but that's it. I'll show you some pubes. That's as far as I'll go. That's as far as I'll go.
You get a little bit of the bum
from bush. You know what? I'll leave it to the imagination. Yeah, but you know what? Kevin was just fucking showing off.
Yeah.
He's saying, I make movies for a living. I'm an actor. Everyone knows me. I make millions of dollars. I got a big dick.
Yeah, but that's not the only area that I've been placed in, so...
Yeah, thanks for that, Kevin, you arsehole. Skyscraper, shit of a movie, but Nev Campbell is the best thing in it by a mile.
Yeah.
And fuck, I would have been rather that Nev Campbell took him on, not The Rock and his fucking prosthetic bullshit that he was wandering around with.
Oh, yes.
And she made for the perfect kind of wife. It wasn't the wife character who was just a damsel in distress.
Well, just having her there.
Yeah, it shows that there's a tough...
brings that kind of...
Yeah, that toughness and shit that you bring to the table, and she always does that. And she's really good in Skyscraper, which sucks that it's a shit movie, but...
Yep.
And the last one that I had was Green 3. I think that's a con.
Yeah, it's got to go against
it's
it.
Not good. I mean, her involvement is minimal. She's not in it very much, if I remember correctly.
No.
She only had a few days to give.
Yeah.
I think she was tiring of the whole series at that stage.
Mm.
And then someone said, "How's a few dollars for you for Scream 4?"
Yeah.
She's all right.
Well, when you let 10 years go by, I could be.
She'd been out of circulation for a lot of that.
Yeah,
I believe she went to London or something. She moved out of America and took off, and fair enough. I mean, and plus payday. I deserve a payday.
Correct.
I deserve a payday for the work that I put in. All right. So she's got a very small resume, but I feel like there's a impact there again.
Yes,
with those guys.
Yep.
Number 8, fucking the king of the world himself, James Cameron. He now holds 3 of the 4 top grossing films of all time.
Yeah.
After it overtook
The
Force Awakens.
Look, I haven't seen it yet, but I am still fucking baffled.
So am I.
Because from what I've heard, I will see it. But I remember the first one. If we're judging on good films, it shouldn't be one of the top grossing films of all time.
No, not from what I've heard.
From what I hear about this one, it also shouldn't be.
Yeah, I know.
So
but
I'm kind of like...
The guy's just got like the Midas touch.
He does.
I don't know how.
Yeah. I can't...
I think it's a mixture of he shoots action really well.
Yeah.
Really, really well. He's probably the best action director there is.
Like, not necessarily the filmmaking, but the Avatar films are not his best work.
No, God, no.
By a fucking long stretch.
No. Not even close.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
But he shoots the action really well, and he's cutting edge. The technology's cutting edge.
Yes, he's always looking for something
strive
more.
To get more out of it, and I think that's why the Avatar films have been so successful.
Yeah.
Because they both stretch the boundaries of what you could do with 3D and things like that.
Yeah.
So I understand that. But look, his pros, again, he actually hasn't got a very large resume. Hasn't made a lot of films.
No.
But Terminator, Aliens, T2, True Lies, Titanic.
Yep.
I mean, Christ, I'd even say Avatar was pushing more towards the pros and the cons.
Yeah, it's middle at best for me, but I understand what you're saying. It's not... They're not bad
shit or anything.
No.
And his cons, I mean, I only could find Piranha 2 Flying Killers.
Mm.
and The Abyss. And even The Abyss, I love The Abyss.
The Abyss is a good movie.
I know. But as far as, box office success and everything, it was kind of a bit of a...
Yeah.
It just failed a bit.
But I mean...
But I watch it and
The Abyss is a very
good
movie. I think you've actually got to remove it from the cons if you're talking to me, because I think it's...
Are we saying that Parada 2 Flying Killers is the only really bad movies, mate?
Yeah, probably.
Shit.
I mean, if I'm looking at a movie that I enjoy, Avatar, the first Avatar is more likely to be on the cons than The Abyss, because I think The Abyss was a better movie.
Okay, so let's switch it up. So you'd have to say The Abyss is in the pros, Avatar's in the middle, and Flying Killers is the only turd that he's got.
Probably.
He's written a couple of turds, I think. Rambo 2.
Yeah, he's had his
Strange Days, stuff like that.
He's been wise enough not to really put his fingers right in the pie on that one. He's just, he's just...
You know what, though? This is the sort of the touch the bloke has. Remember he produced a Australian film called Sanctum? Do you remember that?
Not really.
It was around the time Avatar was coming out. They were playing with 3D.
Yeah,
it was about a group of guys who do some spelunking and then they get caught down there.
Yeah.
That shit made $100 million. I was like... And it's because Cameron was beating the drum on it.
Yeah.
Because he was producing it and he was actually involved in a lot of the 3D stuff.
Yep.
So he starts thumping the drum on it. Next thing fucking money starts rolling in. I say, Christ. Yep. All right, so on to number 9. Arnie. Pros, The Terminator, Predator. Genuine classics, those two. Total Recall, I had up there.
Yeah.
True Lies.
Yep.
Twins.
Oh, yeah. I haven't watched it in quite some time, but I always used to laugh at it.
Yeah, I used to laugh. This is where Arnie differs from Sly and Bruce. Is his middle tier is not much job.
No.
Like, when you look at the middle of Arnie, it's kind of a lot of crap.
Yeah.
Eraser and shit like that nobody watches.
When he's putting up curtains as a fucking T800, I start to...
You're still fucking pissed off about that, aren't you?
And funnily enough, I thought the movie was alright.
Yeah.
Like, I liked the movie.
That was Dark Fate.
I was pissed off about that one. Yeah.
I believe James Cameron's got a lot to answer for that.
Yeah, I want to have a chat to you there, James, about that one.
Okay, his cons.
I want to chuck another one in the middle tier.
Oh, in the middle tier.
Sixth Day.
Sixth Day, the cloning one.
Yeah, that was alright.
We cloned Arnie.
Yeah.
Sixth Day is probably one of the better ones. End of Days.
End of Days.
I say End of Days isn't bad. And in fact, Arnie actually gives a bit of a performance in End of Days.
Mm. Is this like the time you said Steven Seagal gives a performance?
No, not quite. Fucking hell. Not quite. You're still going to bring that up. Jesus Christ, I brought that up years ago. I was subsequently shut down 5 seconds after I started.
Yeah, well.
I know, what I was saying about Seagal was he was more relaxed.
Look, we've already tried that case. You don't need to bring it up again. It's not the Innocence Project.
Bullshit! I found exculpatory evidence.
Nah, we're not bringing it back up.
Okay.
Your appeal has been firmly denied.
Let me put it to you this way about
Conan's middle tier.
Conan's middle tier. Conan the Barbarian's middle tier.
Yeah.
Conan the Destroyer is lower tier, and so is Red Sonja.
Raw Deal,
lower. Anyone who fucking thought that, from a comedic perspective, Arnold Schwarzenegger being pregnant, good idea, is an idiot. Right? And then throw in Batman and Robin.
Yep.
Oh.
That was Arnie just distilled to the absolute worst.
Yeah. Just his entire role is just bad puns.
Yep.
And then I had Killing Gunther in there.
Oh, fucking hell. Yeah.
Which I was hoping would be piss funny, because it was taking the piss out of Arnie.
Yeah.
But it was crap. Absolute and utter crap.
Yep.
So Arnie, I feel like he's behind the other two.
Arnie's the ultimate high ceiling, low floor case. Really. Because his peak is unmatched.
Yeah.
But his floor is fucking sticky, and there's sawdust on it to catch the vomit.
He is this close to having a bag of beers and fucking watching a bloke swing his tockle around as a good night out on the piss.
Yeah.
So we move Arnie on, but I just get this feeling that he's not quite, even with Bruce jumping out 50 fucking movies that no one wants to see.
No, yeah. And I give Willis a pass for that because obviously the circumstances are pretty sad.
Yes.
But you kind of got to question how much control he has over that.
Yeah, correct. So we move on to number 10. Mr. Wes Craven, Jared. Wes has got a couple of touchstones.
Yep.
Like, well, I'll get to his cons, and there are a couple that I really want to lay the slipper in. But Nightmare on Elm Street is still clever, scary. It cut the line of the slasher film with something totally different. And nobody knew what to expect.
Yep.
And it still does a great job of having that idea of are you awake or are you asleep?
Yeah, and kind of not being able to escape.
Actually, and at times in the film not knowing if she is awake or she is asleep.
Yeah.
It's hard to know. So they do a really good job there. I put New Nightmare in there.
Yeah.
My brother fucking ripped me apart when I said, New Nightmare's pretty good. He's like, I watched it the other night. It's fucking awful.
No, yeah. He came out with that text out of the blue. I was
New
like,
Nightmare shit house. I remember, like, what are you getting at?
Fuck, this is the bloke that told us Saw 4. Genius. What?
Yeah, that's why I take it with a grain of salt. Or a bag of salt. But, fucking hell. New Nightmare's still a good film.
Yeah, we might need to get him on to kind of
I want to get him on. It's just a Q&A. I'm just going to throw rapid fire films at him and see what he says.
I always like to introduce him as the bloke that
Phantom Menace.
Great film. But then my absolute favourite is when he told us, I can't remember what movie it was. Oh, it's about nothing, but it's about everything. You're talking me in circles here.
Yeah, I know. But whatever it is,
talking over my head.
Now you've talked me into it.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I've got no idea what you're saying, but I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. I'd like to continue this conversation. Okay, then he has Scream and Scream 2.
Yep.
And again, Touchstone.
I would also put Elm Street 3 in as a bit of as a partial credit.
Yeah, partial credit. I mean, I believe his original script was fucking way off the wall.
Yeah, but the idea.
Yeah, the ideas and that came from him.
Yep.
And Darabont and that kind of streamlined it.
Kind of ran with him, yep.
But yes, I'd give him partial credit, and I think I personally feel that's the best of the franchise.
Yeah.
Part 3. So his involvement in the franchise has got the 3 best films.
Mm-hmm.
Scream and Scream 2, again, a touchstone. And I think almost like the perfect storm that he was the one who directed Scream.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was like perfectly placed that this bloke who'd kind of changed the slashers a little bit.
Yeah.
Was back to sort of do it again.
To kind of reinvent it with something.
The classic slasher model.
Yep.
And then I also throw Hills Have Eyes in there.
Yeah, I like the Hills.
It's grimy, it's raw, but it's still got something to offer.
Yeah, but it's as those cheap kind of films that you make go, it's quite effective for getting a few scares out and whatnot.
Yeah. His cons, Deadly Friend.
Mm.
My Soul to Take.
One of your favourites.
Absolutely horrendous. I think, was that his second last film? I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was that, and then it was Scream 4.
Yeah.
And then he unfortunately passed. My Soul to Take is absolute trash.
Mm-hmm.
And then follow it up with Cursed, which is even worse.
Yeah.
And had an absolute cavalcade of behind the scenes problems and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, again, we don't know how much of that was
I think
his fault. But
some of that, because there was similar behind the scenes issues with Scream 4.
Yes.
I think Williamson's a hand in a bit of this.
Yeah.
I think he has a big hand in it because he would have been somebody who's saying, he's throwing his clout around and saying,
Yeah, the production on that just sounded shocking.
Yes. And the last one I throw in there is Scream 3.
Yeah, Scream
Worst
3,
of the bunch.
You can't.
Craven's on autopilot. His directorial work's not as good.
Can't do much to fix that one.
Yeah, can't polish a turd. Fucking roll it in some
cannot.
glitter.
You cannot.
On to number 11, another director in the horror genre. We've kind of paired these two, Jared. This is going to be a little bit of an interesting one because might be considered unfair. John Carpenter and Deborah Hill together.
Yes. Thought it was reasonable to
because they did have a lot to do with each other early on.
Well, they worked creatively together on
probably the first 4 or 5.
Yeah, on a couple of the really good ones he did. When you're talking about Halloween, you're talking about The Fog.
Yep. Escape from New York.
Escape from New York. She had some involvement in. So it's kind of like, yeah, I think it's
Halloween 2,
enough to.
But he also had The Thing, They Live, Big Trouble in Little China.
Yes.
They're all in the top tier. That's in the pros sort of stuff.
Yep.
Some really good things there. I mean, I think The Thing is outstanding.
Top notch.
Like it's outstanding.
Yep.
And still holds up today.
I lean towards Halloween, but there's not an argument from me. There's not a throwdown from me if someone says The Thing is his best movie.
Yeah.
I'm very much open to that.
I think The Thing is just so awesome because it's got that whole trust no one.
Yeah.
Like, we can't trust each other.
Yep.
And I think that really works fantastically. Cons, Halloween 3, Escape from LA. That's between the two of them.
Yeah.
Carpenter also had Memoirs of an Invisible Man. Okay, now.
Well, he was thrown onto that one.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah,
when it had already started shooting, hadn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I can't remember who was initially in there, but
yeah,
he was brought in as a sort of a jobber, so
yeah,
to speak. Ghosts of Mars, The Ward. I mean, his resume is littered with a bit of pull.
Yeah,
middle tier, Christine. Probably
Christine's
middle tier. It's not bad, but the two of them together. It's not a big resume, but there's some really good, interesting stuff there.
Yeah.
And
I'm resistant to Halloween 3 being the cons too.
Really?
I must say.
Is it because of Dan Chalice?
Well,
is it Dan Chalice?
But it's a reasonably fun little bit of work. I like it.
Okay, let's say that's a middle tier.
Middle tier. I'll take that. I'll take that.
Okay. And on to our last Hall of Fame nominee. One Stephen King.
I mean, do we go into his pros and cons? We'll be here for a fucking hour.
Oh, look, I kept it short. But just, It, Misery, what else did I have here? The Green Mile, The Shank, Dead Zone, Pet Cemetery. I mean, there's some really good adaptations there.
Stand. Well, not even the the series they've made of The Stand haven't exactly been great, but it's still...
Yeah, but throw in The Outsider, throw in Mr. Mercedes.
Yep.
There's so much there. There's a body of work that... And look, they don't always get that shit right. And when they do, and they've been more recently doing, they've had success.
Yeah, if we're talking strictly of the stuff made of his work, even just that there is a pretty solid crew of films.
And not even taking into account the novels and shit.
No.
We have read.
Or something like It, that's been made twice reasonably well.
Cons. As far as his filmmaking and stuff goes, both the Firestarters were failures.
Yeah. And
I think you pointed out, there isn't really much there. I think even if you read the book, you'd probably find it's a bit light. Maximum Overdrive, of course. I mean, who put Stephen in charge of anything? During that 80s period, he probably shouldn't have been in charge of it. Dr. Sleep, I heard, wasn't great.
You surprised me there. I actually really liked Dr. Sleep, the movie. I enjoyed it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a middle tierer.
Who told you it was shit?
I heard from a lot of sources that it wasn't great. Not shit, but just it wasn't...
I don't think it's one of his best, but I think it was a Mike Flanagan one where, again, he's just done reasonably well with the material. It's not a gem by any stretch, but I think you'd probably enjoy it. Talk to Luke. Luke loved it.
Oh, Luke loved it, but fuck, I just told you to take it with a bag of salt. I don't take his ramblings with the right...
Yeah, but I was right next to him on that one.
Okay, and the last one I had was Graveyard Shift. I remember that one was giant rats.
Yeah.
Oh God, Stephen. He was just.
What about the mangler?
Oh, the
gouger.
The fucking mangler. That was they even had the lawnmower man. Can we throw that in?
Lawnmower man. Whew. Well, he wanted his name removed from that, so I don't think he can hold him against that.
You know what? I looked him up in IMDb this afternoon. He had 324 credits. I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, this bloke, he's making a mockery of this.
Yeah.
But now talk about big resumes. He's got the big daddy of the resumes here.
Yes. Well, when you like, he's got that many novels, but then we're punching out adaptations of his short stories.
I know. So Stephen's got a big case.
Yeah, he's got a lot. He's got a lot there to work with.
All right, so we just rattled them off. Rattled off everyone's pictures. Let's start from the top. And I want the yes or no.
Well, I'm going to hit you a little differently.
Have you got a 5 already?
I want to strike one straight away.
Okay.
Bruckheimer.
Strike him.
I'm going to strike him only because he's not. I understand he's had a big hand in this, but he's not the creative.
He's not the creative. He's the guy who makes it happen.
He makes it all happen. He probably has some notes, and he's probably got a little bit of a hand in, cutting some stuff that might not work. Or he obviously knows what he's doing, but I just feel he might be on the second ballot or something like that. Not the first ballot Hall of Famer.
Okay. So Jerry,
that's my.
Look,
thinking.
I'm prepared to accept that. As much as I love you, Jerry, and I do. And Top Gun Maverick, I mean, fuck, you're backing my good book. You're backing my graces, because quite frankly, I saw it was on binge. I just about watched it again.
Yeah.
I was instantly about ready to go, press play on that bad boy.
Yeah.
Okay, we strike
when
Jerry.
I hover onto Paramount Plus, that's about the only thing I see that I'm like, oh shit, yeah, watch that again.
Okay, I'm going to come at you with this one. Guarantee. Stephen King.
Yes.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Like, Tom Atkins is the king, but the king's right behind him. The fucking king is right behind. There is no bigger, to me personally, there's no bigger fucking influence on me as a person than Stephen King.
Yeah, and it's not only, I mean, he's probably
from multiple different angles.
He's probably getting points for the books as well.
Yes.
Which it's hard not to.
Yep.
It's hard not to.
But even to look at some of the films that have been made, they are great films.
I mean, fuck, mate, I'm in the midst of reading Fairy Tale at the moment. The bloke's got me fucking wrapped around his finger again.
He's a fucking legend.
Just continue.
Legend. So I think it's impossible not to give him a nod.
Yeah.
Impossible.
Yep.
So, Bruckheimer out, King immediately in.
Yes.
So he's the first of the 5.
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna package here. Arnold, Bruce, Sly.
All of them?
No. Which one of them?
Oh.
I think there's only one that goes in.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Tough call. I'm going to say Arnie, no.
Ooh.
Oh, that's fucking hard.
It's
hard.
Big call.
But I feel like you pointed out his middle tier is kind of not there, and his floor his floor is the private bin. It's definitely the private bin.
Yeah.
Whereas Bruce's Sly, it's like Pandora's. It's carpeted.
Yeah. The floor of Bruce's Sly, you can go in and have a quiet beer. So I'll probably never go back there, but I didn't get in a fight or anything. So that's
probably, correct. Yeah, everything's fine.
That's not too bad.
So that's harsh, but I'm going to say Arnie's out at this stage.
Okay.
Even though he's got what I'd call 2 genuine classics in his resume. I just feel like his the stuff below that is nowhere near as good as the other 2.
Yeah, right. Whew, big one.
So, to me, it comes down to Sly versus Bruce.
Because I actually think you've shortchanged, Arnie.
I've shortchanged
T1 and 2.
Oh, T2, yeah.
Are both,
outstanding. I'm not in any way, shape or form shitting on what he has.
Yeah.
Like, his best is right at the top.
Yeah.
But
I mean, Arnold, we've been led to believe that you fucking do curtains for a living now. You could at least put some curtains on your club, or talk to one of your mates to do a carpet.
And sometimes you got to close them when you're fucking making the kind of dreck you were making back in the day.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about that?
Yeah, that's a tough
Or
one.
do
Because
you have
part
a
of me-
different feeling?
Part of me leans towards, do you go for the guy with 3 classics at the top that probably bump above? I mean, all 3 of those movies are better than First Blood, in my opinion.
Probably, yes.
Rocky would probably stand side by side with him, but it's a different sort of film. So yeah, I don't know. I'm
Okay.
I understand what you're saying there, because to me, Bruce is the first one to drop,
You reckon?
which is strange to say because that argument that I just put forward. I mean, he's probably top of the pile with Die Hard.
Well, Die Hard, Unbreakable. I think Looper's right up there. Pulp Fiction.
Yeah,
Like they are.
but if I'm looking at those movies, Die Hard's at the top.
Yeah.
Die Hard for me, Predator's probably neck and neck.
Yep.
And then underneath that, Terminator, Terminator 2, Rocky are all there.
Rambo.
Everything else is kind of, we're sorting through.
So do you feel like
Let's go back. Let's circle back to that one.
Okay. Do you feel though that only one of those guys can make the 5?
I feel that's a possibility.
Okay. So let's get off them. We circle back. So Sly, Arnie, and Bruce are on ice at the moment. Fuck.
I think we strike another one.
Who?
And it pains me to do it, but Nev Campbell doesn't have the
resume for it.
breadth of...
No. She has a place
Absolutely
in horror cinema, and I think, for somebody whose resume isn't that big and isn't really in our wheelhouse, it's not like horror is the only thing, Scream is the only horror-based sort of stuff she's attached
Party
to.
of Five's not getting your points here.
Party of Five's horror, but it's a different type of horror. I believe she should be struck, and I hate to say it because I think, I think she's a fucking excellent. I really like her as an actress, and I think she seems like a really nice sort of person as well. But the resume's not there.
Look, I don't think you're going to offend her. I don't think she's going to give a fuck.
She's not going to give a fuck. Possibly because she's not going to hear this. I'm going to throw one out there. I think Tom Savini. In.
Okay.
Because I look at it as, again, shaping that period of my life.
Yep.
In the 80s. And synonymous with slasher films, which are a big part of my and our interests.
Yes.
And I remember knowing his name in the 80s. So, I had the Fangoria, fucking video where it was an hour about Tom Savini.
Yeah.
So I think Savini's in.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
People would argue, but I just feel like there's a...
Put it this way, he's the only person of that special effects crew that we've put on here. That's for a reason.
Yeah, I think it's because he stands out.
Yes.
So
King in,
Savini in. You got 3 places left.
3 places left. Fuck it, duck. That's going to be rough.
Okay, so let me look at... So we've scratched Bruckheimer, Campbell.
Yep.
We've got Arnie, Sly and Bruce sitting back. We've got Savini in. We've got... Let's have a look at the others. King in. So who else we got?
Well, again, we're talking directors. We've got Carpenter, Wes Craven,
James Cameron.
I think
you have to put Cameron in there.
Well, I think Craven's got to go.
You got you flick him?
Yeah. Love the bloke, but compared to the other two, just not quite there. I mean, if I'm going on personal
preference, it'd be Carpenter.
Carpenter's going in because I enjoy more of his films. Look, I love some of Cameron's best work. But Carpenter, I can go to
any day of the week.
Halloween, I can go to They Live, I can go to The Thing, I can go to...
Yeah, I think I'm with you. Nostalgia gets Carpenter there for me.
Yeah.
Again, also coming up during that period.
Yeah.
And that's nothing against James Cameron because Terminator, Aliens, T2... fuck. Honestly...
Tommy Atkins is sweating. He's shuffling in his seat here. He's thinking, shit, I might get bumped.
Yeah, like Terminator, Aliens, T2.
Am I talking out of my ass here?
Huh?
Am I talking out of my ass?
Yeah, we are.
Does Cameron have to go in?
We're talking out of our ass. If we're honest, Cameron is in. For sure. I mean, fuck. Look at the resume.
Because I feel Carpenter's got to be in as well.
Shit. Okay.
Which
doesn't leave a lot of
okay,
room.
let's put Cameron in. Carpenter's on the bubble. He's in the waiting room.
So, what, we look at everyone else?
We've said, Wes, thank you for your time.
Okay.
You could please leave. John, just...
Okay, I'm going to run through from top
to
to bottom. Slides on ice. We're going to make a decision there.
Mm-hmm.
Shane Black. I just can't put him in there. The only reason is because I don't think he has enough.
What if you go and watch The Nice Guys again?
Oh, fuck. He'd be in immediately. But I think he has a big...
and he sort of disappeared or kind of...
after
had his
Kiss Goodnight.
Issues with Hollywood and substances and things like that.
There's substances involved.
And around the period when he should have been punching out some more good work.
I think he kind of got disillusioned with the whole
he did
thing.
Yes.
So, love you, Shane. Love you. And if you come back to me with a few more of these, you might find yourself back on there. But I think I'm comfortable with his nomination.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he's a rare screenwriter that we would have put on this list.
Yes.
Jamie Lee. I think...
Look, I think she probably is not going to get in because it's horror, action. Oh, fuck, I don't know. Like, because this is hard work because she... Again, I go by that reasoning, then Arnold probably has to go immediately as well. Sly probably has a bit more of a breadth of, a couple of dramas and things like that.
All right, okay, sorry. So how do we feel about Jamie Lee? I think that her resume is not as packed with this kind of stuff.
No.
And
again, it's
Laurie
one
Strode,
role, but it's a very important role.
It is a very important role.
Fuck. Jesus.
All right, okay, sorry. So we've got to make a call on the three actors. Right, because we've got King.
Yep.
Cameron.
Yep. Carpenter and Hill are in the waiting room.
Yeah, and who was the other one we put in? King, Cameron.
Tom Savini.
Tom Savini. So we've got two spots. We've got Sly, Bruce, Arnie, Jamie Lee Curtis.
I think Sly
and
might have to be the one out of those three if you...
Carpenter and Hill. Yeah, look, I prefer Bruce, but I don't. I think Sly's got the. He's still he's still doing it.
Yeah,
Sly's still getting it done today. Like he's still managed to be able to as you said, he disappeared up his own freckle, and then he fucking. And then he reinvented himself with the Expendables. He then came back with Balboa
Creed.
And Rambo. Then he was in Creed. Then he turned up in some other things. Like he sort of has always been able to come back.
Tulsa King?
Tulsa King.
Tulsa King.
I hear that's all right.
Yeah.
Tulsa King. I feel like Stallone has to get the nod.
Okay. So does that mean Bruce and
Arnie are out?
Gone?
Yep.
Oof.
Fly in.
Jesus.
And then that leaves us with Carpenter on the bubble or Jamie Lee.
In which case, I think you go the Carpenter Hill combo.
Yeah.
And Jamie Lee's just got to wait.
Yeah.
Wait the turn.
If Jamie Lee wins an Oscar, reassess.
We may come back. We may come back.
Okay, so I'm comfortable with these five. King, Cameron, Savini, Stallone, Carpenter and Hill.
Yeah, I think that's
our Hall of Fame.
I mean, I'm going to be going back and forth and second guessing myself.
Of course, with Tommy Atkins perched at the top of Mount Everest,
of course,
looking down, even spitting on King.
I think he's comfortable in his chair now. Again, he's probably chomping on a cigar.
Yeah, he's loving it. Oh no, he's got his shirt over to the navel. With
six-pack in hand. Six-pack of cans.
Yeah.
Can't be stubbies. It's got to be a six-pack of cans.
All right, okay. Now on to the Hall of Shame.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
going to be a little bit easier, I feel.
I feel like it's going to be a little bit easier. Here are our knobs. Knobs for the Hall of Shame. Steven Seagal. Pro, Under Siege.
Con, everything else.
Pretty much. I had On Deadly Ground, Fire Down Below, Half Past Dead,
Yeah.
Belly of the Beast, Mark for Death.
Yeah. Stephen's problem is when you look at the things a little
His
more,
middle tier is just the fucking second part of the lower tier.
But when you look at things a little more critically,
even his early pictures were shit.
Yeah, his movies are mostly shit. But even when you just push that aside and say, I just want a good action film, he takes himself fucking far too seriously to enjoy it sometimes.
Yeah.
So
the only one that didn't was Exit Wounds.
Yeah.
It kind of did take the piss out of him a touch.
Yeah.
And he sort of went along with the joke.
Yeah.
A little bit.
But everything else, he's just too
stoic.
Yeah.
He couldn't fucking put up with that.
I mean, the compilation of Stephen being hit by his opponents in films would be about 10 seconds long.
Yeah. All right. So Stephen's got a very good case.
A very good case. He's got a strong case.
Charles Norris. Chucky boy. Pros. And this is fucking reaching. Code of Silence.
Yeah, right.
I'm reaching for something.
Okay.
I mean, I'm still trying to get that one where he's a fucking shapeshifter.
Forest Warrior?
I put that in the cards, but I do want to see it. Just to see if it pushes him into the pose or something.
Yeah.
Surely it's better than everyone makes out. Okay, Chuck Norris, Hellbound, his cons.
Yes.
Hellbound, Forest Warrior, Silent Rage, and Busy in Action.
Yeah, look, I've got to give Chuck a little bit of leeway here in that I probably have to say I still haven't seen what I considered some of his better movies.
Which ones? You haven't seen Lone Wolf McQuade?
I haven't seen Lone Wolf McQuade. I haven't seen
Invasion USA.
So I might be shortchanging the man, but I mean, what I have seen, I cannot, in my wildest dreams, imagine there's a good acting performance in there.
I can guarantee you there isn't. You know what? I'm going to cut him a little bit of slack, and I'm going to say his case is not as dire as Stephen's because he was a B-grade action star. He was never like someone who was given a lot of money.
Yeah.
And
there's a reason for that.
I know. He couldn't even convincingly act like a man who was taking that money and using it for film purposes. So I'm going to cut him a little slack, and it'll probably come into my discussions about how he gets in there. Number 3, Michael Bay. The Rock and Pain and Gain, I would say, were pros.
Mm-hmm.
Both. I mean, The Rock is genuinely an excellent action film.
Yep.
But the cons, 6 Underground, Transformers 2 through 4. The original Transformers is middle tier, enjoyable.
Yep.
But the others are just a fucking mess.
Yep.
And a loud, noisy mess at that. The Island, which I absolutely hated. I went to the cinema to see that, and the idea behind it was great, but the execution was just schmozzle. Bad Boys 2, Pearl Harbor. And he also did the film clip for Meatloaf's Objects in the Rearview Mirror May Appear Closer Than They Are, which, fucking, what a mouthful of a song.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he did the film for Meatloaf's Life is 11 and I Want My Money Back.
I wish he had. He also did the film clip for I'll Do Anything for Love, I Won't Do That. So
yeah.
Probably came
that probably goes in the pros.
Yeah, it does.
Famous film clip.
Yeah. Bay's problem is his movies are just excessive.
I mean,
to the absolute extreme.
Six Underground is almost going to get him in on its own.
Yeah, he has no idea what restraint is.
No.
Like, I saw the trailer for Ambulance.
Yeah.
And I just went, holy shit. Like, this bloke, he's just got no fucking idea about restraint or understanding that you need to have to make action work, to build the pulse. Subtlety. But you've also got to make characters that people give a shit about.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck. Those idiots in 6 Underground, I don't even know if they were.
No. I didn't want to.
No, God, no. Fuck. All right. I've thrown in a rider for us. Aaron Kruger.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, I remember you
Holds a
said to
special
me,
place.
you said to me when I told you what he'd done, you were like, "Oh my god, how are you getting work?"
Yeah. I think I said he'd given me more nightmares than Freddy Krueger ever had.
Yeah, correct. Pros: Top Gun Maverick.
Yep.
And the ring.
Was he just in the room?
Oh, he must have been. Surely Jerry went, stop talking. You give us one good idea, now shut the fuck up.
You want a slice? You stay quiet.
Yeah, that's
From this
right.
point forward.
Top Gun Maverick, and the ring was pretty good.
Yeah, the ring was pretty good.
But his cons, Reindeer Games, Scream 3, Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, Transformers Dark of the Moon, Transformers Age of Extinction, Ghost in the Shell, Dumbo. Yep. I mean, these are all turds.
Yeah. Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. I remember seeing that as the second on a double bill at a drive-in.
Oh.
And I was fuming. 45 in, I realised this was a stinker.
Mm.
And the thing just kept on going. It just wouldn't
Is
stop.
that the one, the second?
Yeah, with Devastator.
With the balls?
As soon as I saw Devastator, I was like, that was unforgivable.
I remember.
What about Devastator needed to be changed so much?
Yeah, I know. And I remember thinking to myself, because I believe John Turturro makes a fucking joke about his balls. And I remember thinking, I hope he got well paid.
Yeah.
Because fuck, mate, you are ruining your career.
Yeah.
With this shit.
He's doing okay now though. I just rewatched the Batman the other night, and it's good to see.
Oh
him
yes,
sort of floating around in things like that.
Yeah, he's in there. Okay, so Aaron, look, that cons list, that's more nightmares than Freddy Krueger. There's no doubt about that. It's shocking, but he has worked steadily in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Holy Christ!
Who you know?
It must be, he's got photos on someone, for sure. Okay, this is a controversial one, Jared. And we talked about this briefly. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And let me explain why I put him on here.
I'll hear you out.
His top tier is barren. Like barren. His middle tier is full of stuff that no one remembers.
Yeah.
And his low tier, there's some poop in there.
Yep.
So his middle tier is full of your Rampages and all that crap that.
Yeah.
And the Jumanjis and all that.
Yeah. Perfectly passable.
Yeah, serviceable
enjoyable.
entertainment.
Yeah.
But nothing that's really gonna, like your Jungle Cruise.
Yeah.
It's in one ear, out the other.
Inoffensive.
Well, got a couple of laughs.
I don't know. Maybe I better rewatch it. It might be offensive somewhere.
Enjoyed myself, but that's about it.
Yeah.
His top tier, Pain and Gain.
Mm-hmm.
Fast Five.
Yep.
I'll put that up there.
Doesn't go much beyond that.
No. His low tier, Red Notice, Baywatch, San Andreas, Central Intelligence,
Yeah.
Doom.
Yep.
These movies suck.
They do.
Suck.
And Red Notice put him.
It's the worst thing he's done.
It was terrible. But every time I keep going back to Baywatch. Every time you say Baywatch, I think of the bloke with his fella stuck between the slats, and I can't stop giggling.
I'm giving the movie way too much credit because I do. I do laugh when that guy opens his sun chair and gets his fucking dick and balls caught in it. And Jared, I can't even remember how his dick and balls were out.
Yeah,
caught in it.
No, I can't remember either, but I still laugh at it. But
it's a tragic film.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to throw a sixth into the mix. I didn't have his resume put together, but I'm throwing it in there. Vin Diesel.
Ooh, and I have just
Vinny
been
D.
right in the thick of Vinny Diesel.
Vinny Diesel. Fast Five's up there.
Yep.
Fast Seven's up there.
Yep.
Saving Private Ryan.
Yep.
All up there.
Yes, and I'd probably push Pitch Black in as an honourable mention, perhaps.
Yeah, mid-tier, but pushing him.
Yeah.
I mean, his performance in Pitch Black's really good.
He's really good in it.
Yeah.
He is.
His lower tier,
Holy shit. We've got fucking... do you remember A Man Apart?
Yeah.
Where was a DEA agent? His wife got killed?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
What was that one about? What was the one where he gives us the fucking... the monologue about street fighting?
Oh,
Four Brothers or something?
Oh, yeah. No, Knock Around Guys.
Knock Around Guys.
Shit house.
Fuck's sake.
Then you got The Last Witch Hunter. You've got fucking Triple X.
Chronicles of Riddick.
Chronicles of Riddick. As I said to you, what was Judi Dench doing? I mean, some money changed hands.
How do we rate? Does he get credit for?
Groot. Oh, look, they're middle tier because his involvement is minimal.
Yeah. Okay, so that can probably go in. He's middle for him.
Yeah. We've got Babylon AD.
Bloodshot.
Bloodshot was shit.
Yep.
You know, like he's just there's a lot of rubbish in there.
There is.
A lot of rubbish. And you've recently watched a bit of that rubbish.
I have. I watched the whole Riddick.
And how did it come back to you?
Pitch Black, I enjoy.
Yeah.
Chronicles of Riddick was just one of those ones where you're like...
They've overdone the world building.
We take away everything that was good about the first one and we ramp up the character who was great in small doses and overdo it, and we end up with, that crew of necromongers or whatever they were called was like something off of bad bloody Star Trek.
Wasn't there another one just called Riddick?
Yeah, that one was okay because they took it back more to
what it was in
Pitch Black. But then they also, there's a couple of parts where he's making some very seedy lines to Katie Sackhoff's character, and I'm just like, oh, Jesus.
Mm.
I mean, Vince, you didn't have to be crude. You didn't have to be crude. All you had to do was put your CD on, and she would have been swooning.
And that's a pro. We just come back to it. Like it feels like I do.
Feels like I do. We'll have you pushing him into the Hall of Fame.
Still number one in my heart. I can tell you that now. So that's our 6, Jared.
Okay.
Let's throw out the martial artists first. Let's put the martial artists on the block. Seagal and Norris.
Look,
I think it's pretty fucking clear cut. Seagal's in.
Seagal, yeah.
Because Norris, as I said...
He's burst his way into one of those 2 spots and he's not fucking budging.
Yeah, because Norris was a B-grade star. So big money was not getting spent.
Yes.
And budgets. He was not making big money at the box office.
Yeah.
Because he was working for Canon.
Yep.
But it just meant that he kind of kept your budgets down and box office reasonable.
Reasonable, yep.
And he never sort of got outside of B-grade. So... And Chuck kind of knew where his lane was. Kicking people in the face, I think, was about all it was.
Sometimes he did. Other times we went fucking 90 minutes of a movie and only got about...
he kicked the shit out of the devil.
It's not long enough, though.
Okay, so Seagal in.
Chuck probably gets a pass.
Okay, I'm going to put... let's have a look at Diesel and Johnson. And I'm going to strike one off. I'm going to strike Johnson.
Well, I was going to strike them both.
Diesel and Johnson.
Because, look, I've been quite critical of Diesel, but I think I enjoy the Fast films enough. I mean, I think 5, 7, good fun. Even the first one I like.
So there's a couple in there that
There's a couple in there that I go for. Pitch Black, good. Riddick, middle tier, enjoyable, the stuff that he can do.
Yeah.
His problem always seems to be, again, that he's got to be... it's a little bit of the Seagal syndrome.
Got to be
the coolest bloke. You got to be the guy that can't be touched. You got to be this and that.
Yeah.
When he doesn't do that, it's not too bad.
Yeah. Okay. So you're going to strike. The reason why I said I'd strike The Rock is I think his resume is not great, but it's also, as we said, the middle tier, inoffensive sort of stuff that. But there's plenty of it.
He's become the biggest star in the world on that middle tier shit.
Yeah.
As you said, stuff that you go back to. I mean, we had the discussion about Drive and what was the other one? which one Billy Bob thought was in?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Was it
Drive?
Yeah. There was There was the other one too.
Snitch.
Snitch and Drive. Where's this there going?
No, Faster, not Drive.
Faster, sorry, not
Faster and Snitch. You know, I couldn't remember which one Billy Bob was in.
But again, that fucking highlights out because we were making jokes about which one was which and how they were interchangeable, and then you went and spilled out, "Oh yeah, I love Billy Bob and Snitch" or something like that. It was like, no, he was in Faster. Like, it highlighted our point that he's done so much of this shit that's just forgettable.
But it's middle tier. The majority of his resume is in the middle.
Yeah,
it's not in the bottom.
No.
And Diesel's a bit the same. You can probably say that a fair bit of the stuff, and he's got a fairly small resume, Diesel. It's not like he's made 1,000 films, because he hasn't.
No.
So I'd say middle tier for a lot of stuff. Even shit like fucking Triple X. No, actually Triple X.
Triple X is awful.
Fucking bullshit. It is. It's fucking bullshit. It is. It is bullshit. But,
it is.
Okay, so struck them off. That means it comes down to Bay versus Kruger for the other spot.
Yeah.
Bay versus Kruger.
I'm going Bay. He's got to be in the Hall of Shame for me, because every time I come out of one of his more recent films, I feel like I need to fucking hit the bloke with an assault charge of some sort.
I mean, he's been skull fucking me for about 15 years. Like, the guy needs to stop fucking putting his dick in my ear. Or I'll have him up on fucking sexual harassment charges. Yeah, totally agreed. Kruger.
I mean,
yeah, well, the only thing that got Kruger over the line, Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah. You could not put anybody involved in Top Gun Maverick on the Hall of Shame.
Exactly.
Just could not happen.
Exactly. So, Bay is definitely in.
Yeah.
Just because his resume after The Rock has just become a shit show.
His offences are more egregious than
oh, yeah. Actually, no. The last movie of his that I enjoyed was probably... not including Pain and Gain. Like, Pain and Gain was in the 2000s, and I did enjoy that. Yeah. And I do enjoy that.
Yep.
And I think his style actually works for Pain and Gain. Because it's set in Miami and the clubs and, you know, the fast lifestyle of these idiots.
Yeah.
And his style of shooting and everything works for that.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, it wasn't an action film. So we didn't have things blowing up every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And, again, I think he gets good performances out of the three players.
He does.
In Pain and Gain.
Yep.
So he does a good job there. The only other, the last movie, the action film that I saw, which I thought was palatable, was Armageddon.
Yeah.
After that,
Transformers was
okay, but after that, he's
Armageddon
mired in a heap of shit.
Yeah.
So he's definitely in there. So our Hall of Shame inductees: Steven Seagal and Michael Bay.
I think that's fair.
I think that's very fair, very fair. And you know, someone behind the scenes and someone in front of the camera.
Yes.
Perfectly. You know, Seagal would almost have a place as our mascot of the shame.
Oh, of course.
So he's got himself in there.
Yep.
That's the Hall of Fame and the Hall of Shame, Jared. Keep an eye out on our Facebook page for the next film we cover. I promise I will not delete it before it's released.
Let's hope not.
Sorry, Maddie. And because Maddie had plenty of deep thoughts on Cliffhanger, so he's probably a little bit upset. But until then, everyone take it easy, and we'll catch you all later. Cheers.
Find the podcast at Podomatic or on iTunes. Don't forget to rate and review. Like us on Facebook at Thrill Me Podcast Australia, or contact us at thrillme, all one word, all lowercase, at iinet.net.au.